It looks great. Well, thank you,
Thank you.
Basit, for helping with my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Sure, why not? So my name is Basit Khan, and I belong to KP, Pakistan, and I am a student of CPD, which means Conflict, Peace, and Development. So this is my short introduction.
Well, I'm not familiar with that. Could you tell me what it is?
So basically, it's a department which we call it Development Studies. It's an umbrella. So on that umbrella, it's a branch of development studies and called conflict, peace, and development. We see like as we human beings come to being. So conflict, peace is like our left and right. So it's all about these sort of thing. What happened before, what will be happening in the future. So it's all about this and development. You know, development by the word we can know. What's like SDGs and other development going in the world right now. So this is the like a brief introduction
Well,
of
I
my
mean, there's
studies.
definitely lots of places where there's conflict, and there's lots of places that are underdeveloped. So it seems like you would be a very busy person.
Not really. I'm a very literature person, not like practically. We are just studying it, not implementing it. When you are implementing it and you are in the ground for it, then you seem to be busy. But as for like you are studying it, yeah, you are right. But for just 2 semester, you can say it's a very busy. After that, you select a research topic for yourself, and then you just work on your research, which is not very busy.
So
But the whole journey is very busy.
what got you interested in this?
Actually, like here in Pakistan, there is a department and called CSS, Superior Civil Services. So for that, these subjects are very familiar with that. Like both the subjects are very same, which are taught in CSS and which are taught in this my subjects, my disciplines. So these both are very familiar and very same. But on the journey, on the way, I changed my decision to not appear in the CSS. But still, I just love it. I get to know Gandhi's philosophy. I get to know Martin King Jr. philosophy. What are the communist philosophies? What are the nationalist philosophies? You see, there's a lot of theories we read and there is a lot of things. So on the way, my decision and my goal changed, but the journey still I'm really enjoying it.
But it seems to me that I really haven't seen places in the world where sort of like the Martin Luther King and Gandhi philosophies are really being put into practice. It seems that you still have the regular kind of violent conflict instead of um, sort of this peaceful type of thing.
Um, yeah, you are right. Like we can see it, and even Gandhi was from India. We can see India as a Gandhian philosophy, like a philosophy. Even Pakistan, the founder of it is Jinnah, but the philosophy is missing. So the philosophy, implementing the philosophy, and you see, I'm studying in the MS, which is very like you can say you have to very get very education to get to this point. So in this subjects, I'm studying Gandhi. I have to study a lot of subjects to study Gandhi. Then I get to know Gandhi. But if I study Gandhi in my school, it will be just like a national anthem or a nationality sort of thing, which I could be not very, I will be very least interested in it. So this the problem. Like we, if we take Gandhi, if we Qaidism, we take Luther Jr. or Marxist, what was his name? Marxist, I guess. So we take these personality to as a nation. We think it just belong to one nation, and they just work for one nation. But as a whole, fellows, and the country person, like a person belong from that country, think it's just like a national treasure sort of things, which it doesn't mean to have impact on the world.
Hmm.
It will have impact on the world. So they just take it. They like it just a normal thing. So that's why the philosophy is missing in the practical world.
Well, um, what do you plan to do after you get through studying?
Actually, I wanted to go to UK and just get my higher studies from there. Might be PhD. I'm very interested in PhD, and I want to see the world.
Well, that sounds pretty neat. Um, well, talking about seeing the world, uh, the Earth is just one of many places, and the Moon is our closest neighbor. And the last time we had people walk on the Moon was 1972. Now, I was curious if you knew that NASA was planning to send astronauts back to the Moon in 2024.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. 2024, we are going to the moon. NASA is planning to.
That's true. Yes,
If
I was
I
wondering if you
get it
heard
right.
this.
Yeah, I heard it. Heard it.
Oh, how did you hear about it?
Actually, I just saw a video where one of the person was going to the moon last week. I think it was last week.
Hmm.
That person went to the moon, right?
Um, Actually, since 1972, everybody that's gone into space has been in low Earth orbit. So, um, the last time we had people on the moon was 1972, over 48 years ago, 49 years
Oh,
ago.
really? Oh, really? Okay. So that person just went to the space, I think.
That's right. Yes,
Sorry.
just outside the atmosphere.
Okay, okay. So you see, I'm not a very good student of these Earth and moons, and even if you can, I never like a very good student of all these things. I just very least understand these things, but I'm very keen. I have very interest in these sort of things. I really hope to see the great future. I'm very excited about it, what is going on, especially in the moon or especially on the spaces. And I'm very and on these sides that people should go to the spaces and countries should invest it in these sort of project, because this is the future, and this is the solution to the poverty reduction, all of the things. And the economy, we can boost our economies, and this is the future, and I believe in this.
Do you know what the Earth would look like if you were standing on the moon?
I hope it's flat.
Um,
If I am not wrong.
well, if you were standing on the moon, the Earth would look like this.
Okay,
Just a little sphere floating in the sky, just like the moon looks from the Earth.
like similar, I think.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine the Earth? I mean, the Earth feels so big whenever you're living on it, but when
Yeah,
you're far away from it, it's just another small place.
really. Yeah, it is. You see,
Um,
like, yeah.
but I was wondering if it was, humanity. If you with all your studying and the things that you know, what do you think humanity will be like in 500 years from now?
Oh, 500 years from now. Oh, it's very beyond me, actually. Like 500 years, uh, I can't even imagine what will be like because living in a developing country, I can even imagine that future of I can even imagine for 10 years from now, which will be like my country, Pakistan, could be like Japan, advanced like Japan. So my imagination is very, you can say very little in terms of future. A person like you, a person, people living in Japan and developed country, they can predict better than me, I think. But
Well,
500 years, it's
how
very
about
beyond me.
some how about some basic questions? Do you think there's more people, the same number of people, or fewer people than there are now?
A few people who, now what? I don't understand the question
Oh,
actually.
okay. It may be hard to predict 500 years from now, like in a broad abstract thing. But if we consider different things that might change over time, in 500 years from now, do you think there's going to be the same number of people as are now, or do you think it'd be more, or do you think it'd be less?
I think it will be less.
Less?
It's my
And
guess. Yeah.
any thoughts on what maybe causes that? Fewer
Um,
people.
yeah. So as a human, we understand things from past and present, and like these are the two sources we have to understand or to predict the future, right?
But right. Okay. So another
Yeah.
question
So
is,
no, no,
oh,
no,
go
no.
ahead.
Let me answer it later. Yeah. So if we can see, I think my voices and your voice is not matching. So like this is the problem. Might be. So so from the past we can see that after every 100 years, there comes a disaster.
Hmm.
We can agree on that. I think there,
They happen
you
a lot.
agree happens a lot.
Yeah, some type of earthquake, a
Yeah,
storm.
like this
th-
history is just a general history. This is not like a hidden history or fake history. This is just a, we can see it from present, and we can go to the past to just confirm it. So like if we can just go 100 years from back, then we can see a flu was also a disaster sort of thing, and people were dying from it because they didn't know what is it and what so strikes them. And before that, a lot of different sort of things that disasters came on the earth. and
Hmm.
and currently nobody knows what corona is. Even corona came is also a disaster, people are dying. So
That's
from these
true.
both, from these both, there will be another disaster, and one big disaster will come, just like a big bang. One big bang was just to come, the world was came into being, and one big bang will be just maybe we could see 500 from now or not. The world will be finished or not. That's, I can't just say it, but people will be very less.
Well, in 500 years from now, do you think there will be more languages, less languages, or the same number of languages as there are now?
I think languages will be like more languages will be there.
Hmm.
Yeah, because
And
the different sort of, we can't see like languages now to just verbally languages. There is a computer language, there will be NASA language, there will be moon language. I hope so. It doesn't sound dumb, but I think languages will be like more languages will be there.
Now, 500 years from now, do you think there will be more countries, the same number of countries, or fewer countries?
Um, I think countries will be the. I think it will be also more countries there. People will be like divided in on the basis of nationality, on the languages. That will create more boundaries.
And do you think humanity will actually expand beyond the Earth and have people living on the moon, on Mars, on the moons of Jupiter and Saturn and other places? Or do you think we'll forever be kind of centered here on the Earth, just making little bitty trips to places?
I think that the future is on the moon, on the space. It's very near future. I think like developed countries, there are a few developed countries. They might be in 10 years, might be, or just few years, more than 10 years, 15 years, or least maximum it can take it 20 years. I could say they will be on the moon, on the space, something like that. They will discover something like colonies, and they will have access. Even they discover it, people are going to the spaces, because budgets or not, it's very expensive. That's why everybody can go there. So from the past we can understand this, like everything which came new to the market or humans, it eventually was expensive at first. So gradually human finds the way and it become cheaper than that. So once it's become cheaper, and people find a cheaper way to go there, so they will create colonies and stuff like that, and people will be living on the spaces. This is the near future, because they have just created a lot of things on the earth. I think there is nothing they can discover more than this. What could be the next?
Well, and do you see yourself eventually living in space?
Yeah, I'm just imaging myself on the space.
Hmm. Well, um, that's pretty much all the questions I had. Did you have any questions for me or anything that you wanted to talk about?
Yes, like we just very fast we just connected and just we just agree on the interview. But I will just ask you about yourself. What do you do, and what's your because all I can see on your Facebook is just moon pictures in 2024, and it just on the Facebook it says automatically written comment sounds like a plan. So I would say it just sounds like a plan. 2020 or 24.
Yeah, so I live in Houston, Texas. I married to my wife, and I have two children. The oldest one is early career, and the younger one is going to head off to college next week. And I work for a software company in their support group. But space and thinking about the future of humanity in space is a passion of mine. So that's why I started this daily interview process. And also, we have a local club called the North Houston Space Society that we meet once a month, get an update on space events, and have guest speakers. And so that's pretty much me.
So, what will be the benefit of it? Like interview people, and what will be your contribution to the 2024, or people going to the moon, or what? Like, what what will be the next thing?
Yeah, so I have no official direct contribution. This is just a personal project, but I think there's two things that I see it offering value. One is increasing awareness that this is going to happen. Hopefully, that gets people excited about it, engaged, informed. And the second thing is, um, I see these videos as being a time capsule for people 100 years from now to look back and see what people were thinking right before we took those next steps on the moon.
It's really a cool idea, I could say. It's a video series of like just people write books to just say what will be happening in the future and what people think. And now we are having these interviews in this social media, so we can just say the thoughts of people and so say our thoughts. What was it today? And what will happen in the future and what was our thought about the future and how the future now it is. Like people were very predictive about future, especially 2011 11 and 2012 was a very like a very people were claiming to be a very futuristic years, but nothing happened. And even now people thought 2020 will be the very futuristic years, but corona came, and we can see our human minds, their human thinking was very limited, and this how we are very limited to everything, our thoughts, our plans, and everything.
I know I think we're asking ourselves the wrong questions. Um, we need to ask ourselves bigger questions that make us go further.
Yeah, like you're right, but we should ask ourselves why we are in the present so we can go to the future. What is in the present, and so the future can be designed looking to the present. That's how I believe. My opinion, just saying. Like if we can't say, like if we can say there is no corona and we are just going to the like space, and people are dying on the earth and we are not doing something for them, so it's not a good futuristic idea. I think if we could just say like people are dying on the earth, then we should solve first. This is the future is to just get out people from this, and then we can go to the space. And this is, I think, or moon, this is the cooler idea. Everyone just in very in you can see in a very hurry to see the future. What will be in the future, like we are seeing in the movies, dinosaurs, moon, people are going to spaces, people are fighting in the spaces. This is the human nature, a vulture nature. Even we didn't go to the space, and they just design we are fighting there with having another powers of superpowers. So I think uh, long talk short, we should see the present, then we can decide the future.
Absolutely. We need to make the most of today. Tomorrow doesn't exist, and yesterday doesn't exist. Only today.
Yeah, today I can just see like the owner of Virginia is going to space. This is his today, and this
Hmm.
is the today we are seeing. Like he is just telling us the future and just showing us the future, and we are seeing this. That's the future. So well and good. But if every wealthy person on the earth just sell everything and just say like we are just going to the space, and everybody just go to the space and they just throw their money on these projects, and they become bankrupted, and the people are on the earth are also poor. So we are dying anyway. So what's the future? Future is like we are letting the people to die. This is the future we are designing for the people. I guess not. This is not the way.
How do you think we could improve it?
As I just said, like just seeing the present, and designing the future. Let's just eradicate this coronavirus. Poverty is there. Nobody can just say like poverty is. Oh, let's just eradicate poverty and then go to space. This is just. I think it's not a very good statement. But let's just fight the first devil, like this corona, and then let's just move then, because this is a big obstacle. What if corona is just we can go to the moon or we can go to the spaces and corona is there, and we
Hmm.
just all uh, make the space a place for corona. So what future we are bringing there? Means we are just bringing the corona to the space. What will be the solution to that? We are not just not creating opportunities, but a lot of problems for ourselves.
Yeah,
So I think, yeah,
it's a difficult thing. I mean, all the trash that we produce, also the conflict that we create, and it's uh, it's a difficult thing.
yeah. So the best thing is, I think, like we just fight this corona, bring your money on the table, help people to just fight with it, and let's once it's just finished, then we can go to the moon, and we will be the people that will be clapping for the future, whether that be America, whether it be South Africa, whether it be Japan, or that be China. We don't mind. We want to see the future.
And do you think it's mainly getting the vaccine out there, or is there something else that we need to be doing?
I think there should be like just one vaccine on the whole world. There should not be much confusion. Like still, it is very confusing thing. Nobody is very clear about it. I think like same like polio, people were like in developed country they were not very confused, but people like us in developing country, which is very conspiracies are here very, because very con- conspiracies nations we are. So people like us and living like here, we just fight with this polio. We were not sure we should go for polio or we should not go for polio, because we don't have just one sort of mentality. We have different tribes and languages and different people and different mentality and different mindsets. To just let them understand everybody, it's very difficult for every person. It's just making things more difficult.
Hmm.
So I think there should be one goal, that one vaccine should be come forward, and China, USA, Japan, South Africa, or any developed country should come forward and just make one vaccine, and all the world should be agree on that. So there should no divide in this, and every country should just go to that country and just show that certificate. I just vaccinated. So we are still confused, because there is a lot of first we are confused about corona. China was saying it's just done by America. America was saying China virus, and then they just bring with their own what do you say, with their own vaccines. They bring their own vaccine. China bring their own. America bring their own. Indian bring their own. Then they are saying like this virus is also creating another diseases. So what way should we go? Like a layman, I would say like what should I go? Like I don't have a choice. If I'm going to foreign country, I should be vaccinated. And those who are vaccinated, they are saying like this vaccination are creating troubles for them, and they're creating more diseases. So what should I do?
It is very confusing. I get the
Yeah,
feeling
it's
that everybody's trying to sort it out, that maybe nobody knows fully.
yeah. But the best solution is just to create one vaccine and tell all the world that gets very tested, tested on different things, laboratory tested and this tested and China tested it and they verified it. America tested it and they verified it. Japan tested and verified it. Russia tested and verified it. So there is the vaccine should be not like conspiracy and like not should be the like a table or a surface for conflict. Let's just deal with it, then just move forward with your technology economy. But I think things are not as simple as we speak. There's a lot of thing a lot of giants, a lot of things going between them. So if things were as simple as we are talking, so things, the result will be that simple. But let's see, it's also future. All we can hope for the best, and we can't prepare for the worst. But let's see how how we can deal with it, and
Well, that
how
might.
like you. Yeah.
I'll go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, I talk a lot. I talk a lot.
Oh, I was just gonna say maybe let's hope for the best. Might be a good note to end on.
Yeah, this is the best line we could say, and we can. I just said earlier we are very limited beings. We are very limited beings. We can just think what we have and what we can do. We can't do beyond our things. So
Well, it
hope
sounds
not out.
good. I really appreciate the time, Basit. It was such a pleasure to meet you, and I'm really amazed that there's generous people like you who a stranger can come to and say, "Hey, can you help me with my project?" And you're willing to step out and help them. So I
It's
thank
my
you.
pleasure, and yeah, it's my pleasure talking to somebody like you who is working very professionally and working for this future. And I'm talking to that person. Who knows? You will be on the moon for 2024, and I will just upload this video on my YouTube channel. That I just talk to that person, and you will be on the moon, and I will be the star, the planet Earth, just because of you. So, and this is not a big thing. You can just come if you could ask me that we need a person to go to the moon. Even I could think about that. A demo sort of person.
Well, that sounds good. Well, Basit, I hope you have a good evening. I guess it's night there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a morning, starting
Morning.
morning here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's evening here, so but anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day and I look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you, Nathan. Thanks a lot for your time.
Bye bye.
Thank you.